Welcome to the examination-based conduct session. The subject is Learner Support, School Readiness, Diversity and Multigrade Teaching. DJP Lssdm11, Year 1, Semester 1. Dear students, this is the presentation of 2019 examination for the whole year. So this presentation is for the whole year, so you should listen very attentively. I'm Miss Matilda Kauliholelwe Shihepo, the tutor for this subject. This will guide you in your preparation for the examination for this subject. It is very important to point out the most important preparation that you have to do is as follows. First, work through your study guide with care and diligence. Do all the learning activities in the guide and then check the answers given at the end of the module. If you don't understand the study guide and its content, you may have difficulty with the preparation for the examination. You must understand each unit in depth. So if you don't understand anything, you can look for someone to assist you or call me so that I can assist you. The following is important information for your examination. The examination format. The duration is 2 hours and the marks is 100. The exam scripts consist out of 5 questions. It is important that you answer all questions, but there will be optional questions where you need to choose. So in this case you will be given, if you get the question paper, you make sure that you read the content so that you must understand the questions very carefully, because there is a section where you should choose either question 2.1 or 2.2. That is just an example, so you must just read so that you must understand carefully. The study materials that you should use for your examination is the Iol study guide for pre-primary diploma in education, year 1, semester 1, or your Kindle. Those are the only study material that you can use. In order to understand the questions, every part of information can be accessed in a number of different ways. Questions such as explain. When you need to explain is you describe something and indicate the relationship between the two things. When you ask to list, then you present a list of facts in a certain order. To define, you give the precise meaning of something based on the concepts. Discuss, give a clear description by pointing out positive and negative features. Distinguish, you point out clearly the differences between the two sets. Describe, provide detailed features of an issue or stage of a process in a logical sequence. Examination cover page. Under student's detail, the following information must be filled in. The student number, your surname, the first name, the ID number, and the examination center. The instructions. Read the general instruction and examination instructions carefully and ensure that you know what is expected before you start with your question paper. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into the examination room. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as you can. Because if you don't write neat work, your answer might be correct, but then when I mark, I might not read your handwriting carefully. So which means that you must please try to write neatly. Make sure that you watch the time to ensure that you finish on time. If time permits, read through your answers to correct the possible mistakes. Very important, write your answer on the lines provided in the question papers. The quantity of lines given will also help you to determine the length of your answers. Also look at the marks allocated to each question to determine how many facts to write to obtain the correct marks. Write neat and legible, please. Now we are going to the different units. Unit 1. Unit 1 is about the basic features of learning support. So what are the important things that you must know there? 1.1, know the principles of learning support programs. Know the difference between remedial teaching and learning support in a table format. Here, if you are asked in the table format, then you have to draw a line, and one side you write remedial teaching, and on the other side you write learner support, and then you write the differences. When learners are entitled to learning support. So when are they entitled to learner support? Which learners need learning support? Know the responsibilities of the parents and as well as the class teacher in a learning support program. Know how a teacher should provide holistic learning support in a daily lessons. Know the features of the right brain dominant learner. Know the different concepts of dominance. Know some learning styles, features, and their related teaching activities that provide learning support. That is all about Unit 1, the important things that you must study. Then we go over to Unit 2, the need for and features of particular activities of learning. Know the policies that guide inclusive education. There are different policies, so it is very important for you to know those policies. Know how the home environment and the community environment affect the need for learning support. Know the 8 criteria of Gardner intelligence. So here I saw that most students have a problem about this. There are criteria and there are abilities. In this case, I ask the criteria. So know the criteria of Gardner's intelligence. Know the main barriers to educational facilities for learners with disabilities. So what are the main barriers? Know the early warning signs of a preschool learner. The signs that a preschool learner has. So you know those signs. Know the common learning disabilities. There are different disabilities, so you should know them. Know the signs of learners with emotional and behavioral difficulties, as well as the externalising behaviours. Externalising behaviour, it is the learners with extreme behaviours. So you should know the signs. Know the definitions of impairment, disability, and a handicap, and how the barriers create a need for learning support. The purpose of the curriculum. So what are the purpose of curriculum? It's very important for you to know that. Know the differences between left brain and right brain thinking. That is all about Unit 2. Then we go over to Unit 3, the theory and activities of school readiness for pre-primary learners. Know the readiness skills and their examples. There are different readiness skills and their examples, so you should know that. Know the stages of spelling development. The definition of school readiness. So what is school readiness? So know how you can define it in your own words. So try to understand the definition of school readiness and write it simply. Know the activities that promote visual memory skills. Know the pre-literacy skills. Look at the signs of a learner with self-care skills problems. So if a child has a self-care skills problems, that child will have different signs. So you should know those signs. Know the strategies on how to teach spacing. There are some learners that don't know how to put spacing on between words. So now you should know those strategies, how to teach spacing. Know things that a beginning reader learns to do. Know how to use letter formation and home writing activities for beginning writers. Know the school readiness checklists. So there are checklists, so you should know the checklist, the importance of it. That is all about Unit 3. Then we go over to Unit 4. Unit 4 is about the relevant theory and its application in order to address diversity in classrooms. Know the features of a classroom as an effective learning environment. How should a classroom be in order for the classroom to be effective, for the learning to be effective? How should the classroom setup be? Know why some learners disrupt or misbehave in a classroom. Know the 9 major types of adaptations for lessons. The techniques that you can use to assess a learner. So you assess different learners, so you should know the different techniques that you can assess a learner. Know the characteristics of intellectually gifted learners. Know how to deal with gifted learners in the classroom. So it's very important, you must know the characteristic of an intellectually gifted learner, and then you must know how to deal with these gifted learners in the classroom. Know the aims of differentiation. Ways of communication in the society. Know how to support learners with learning difficulties. Know the strategies that may minimize the effect of communication-related disabilities. Know the differentiation strategies. So the first one was the aims of differentiation, and then you should know the differentiation strategies. Know the causes of factors which contribute to a disruptive learners. So these learners that are always disruptive, there is cause behind that. So you should know those causes when you are dealing with these different learners. Then we go over to our Unit 5. The Unit 5 is about theoretical aspects and practical activities of multigrade teaching. Know the challenges on how to overcome multigrade classes. We know that there are always challenges in multigrade classes, so you should know how to overcome those challenges. Know how to distinguish between multigrade and monograde class. So multigrade is when the classes, when you put two classes together, that grade 1 and grade 2 together, and a monograde class is only grade 1 alone, or grade 2 alone, or grade 3 alone. So that is mono. The classes are not mixed up. 5.3 is know the typical questions to ask when planning a lesson for multigrade teaching. When you plan a lesson, there are always questions that you should ask. So you should know those questions. Know how assessment records are kept in the junior primary phase for different subjects. So you teach all the subjects and you keep records. So now you should know how to keep those records for the different subjects. Know the general guidelines for classroom layout in order to promote learning activities. The features and application of useful teaching methods for multigrade classrooms. Know what continuous assessment is. In this case, the continuous assessment, you should understand what continuous assessment is, and you should also write it the way you understand it. It's very important because of grade 0 up to grade 3, learners don't write examination. So that is continuous assessment marks that you are taking. So now, which ones is the continuous assessment? So you should know that. Know the importance of maintaining positive relations in a classroom situation. Know how lesson-structured assessment is used in the classroom. Know the records that multigrade teacher should keep in a classroom situation. As a multigrade teacher, there are some records that you should keep, so you should know those records. That was our last unit. So learner support has only 5 units and it's very short but very useful information. Now coming to our conclusion, you now ought to know what is expected from you. Make sure that you know what the venue where your exams will be in and what time it starts. Consult the Iol officers for those details, the venue, the time, and not the subject tutor. Because I'm just a part-time tutor at IOL. So you should call the office to find out about all those things. Should you need help from me, you are welcome to phone me on 081-273-9802 or mail me at matilda@gmail.com so that I can help you in a well-constructed way. Sometimes if you send an email and I did not come back to you, then I might not in the position of the mail. So please try to contact me on my cell phone. The conduct time is very important. Conduct need between 2 o'clock up to 7 o'clock for the information, please. I wish you all the best with your examination.